Hey everybody, it is Mike Greenberg, Jen Greenberg's husband. I wanted to make a video with you about placing coaches on other coaches' weak legs. This is a video we're probably going to just share between our leadership team, or what we consider our leadership team, and obviously you should feel free to use it how you feel fit and to give it to people that you believe can handle it. The reason why we're not sharing this completely open and publicly is because by doing this little maneuver that Beachbody allows us to do, you could essentially be placing coaches in a black hole if you are not actively building a business. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about building up a coach's team, a team member that's below you, by placing coaches that are put in the first business center, which let's just say, for example, it is you and a spouse. So for the purposes of this, we're going to be you and a spouse, and then let's get my my new trusty Word document open. We're going to be doing you and a spouse. Okay, so we have, let's say, we have you over here, and then we have coach, and then we have a coach, and let's say that you've got a couple coaches on each side. Let's do this. I wish I could spell coach, and then coach. Oh my gosh, look at me go. All right, so see what happens when you're under the gun. Now, for purposes of this, we're going to assume you have several coaches because you're on the leadership team. Now, let's say that this coach right here is your spouse. Okay, let's just say this coach is your spouse. And anytime, let's call this one right here the strong leg. Okay, well let's say this is your weak leg, and let's say this is your strong leg. Okay, and you want to put more coaches on your strong leg, but you're on a team that already has a pretty good sized strong leg, and you don't totally need the volume. Or you have a volume goal and you really don't want to put coaches on your strong leg because you do not want to miss out on cycling. So this maneuver right here is going to fix that. Okay, so what we're going to do is, let's say that you have a coach. We'll call the coach John. Okay, and John wants to sign with you, and you want to put John on your strong leg, but still want to get a weak leg cycle off of him. Or let's say have another business center that you control cycle. Let's say you're a 2-star diamond and you want your second business center to cycle, or you want your spouse to cycle more. Okay, so what we're going to do in this aspect is we're going to place John in your first business center, but we are going to place him under the weak leg of your spouse. Okay, so what this would do is, let's say John is on Shakeology and he is happy. Every time he reorders his Shakeology, he gets 90 PV. Now, we all know that every time John gets 90 PV, you end up getting 90 TV right here. 90 TV on your strong leg because his PV equals your TV. Okay, now normally this would show up on your spouse's. Let's see if I can really get this going. This would normally show up on your spouse's strong leg. Okay, this would show up right here. It would show up, well, I'm sorry, it would actually show up right here, 90 TV on your spouse's strong leg. That's normal. However, since this coach is placed on your spouse's weak leg, the 90 TV will be over here. Okay, so actually, the other coaches, so what would it make it be? Let's say that the 90 TV was added to, let's say, 1500 TV on your strong leg. Okay, so now what would happen here is your spouse, let's say the 1500, say everything was equal, your spouse would have, call it 1410 on his strong and 90 on his weak. Okay, so he would actually be real close to cycling off of John. So the reason why this is advantageous is, let's say that you end up signing Sally and Maria, and let's do a Jennifer in there. Okay, so we've got these three people. So now we are going to, let's see if I can do this. Oh my gosh. Let's see. We're going to do the 90 TV again. We're going to do this without messing up, and we're going to do this. We're gonna hold strong, guys. But we're gonna keep this. So John is over here with his 90. Okay, I just want to copy it. So all I want to do is just copy it. Command copy. There we go. And I just want to do it here. Okay, so we're gonna do this, and it's gonna go. So every time. So now every time. Let's say they order on the same. Let's say they order on the same week. Okay, on the same week, because obviously they could be different weeks, and they could. I would not get it, but for the purposes, every time they purchase their Shakeology, they would get 90. Okay, so it actually would have been easier for me just to do it instead of trying to make a shortcut. Sometimes it is just easier to go ahead and do it. Okay, so we've got these people. So now, none of these coaches are actually sponsored by your spouse. They're actually all your personally sponsored coaches. However, for this week, let's go into the same pretense that they all occurred on the same week. Okay, so this would actually be 1410. Let's just say that he's still got 1410. Let's get rid of this up here. He's got 1410 on his strong leg, but because he has 1, 2, 3, 4 coaches on his weak leg placed, he actually would have 360 weak leg team volume. Okay, so that actually would be a cycle. He actually would cycle 3 times. I'm sorry. He would cycle 4 times this month or this week based on where you place those people, and they're not even his coaches. Now, obviously, as you understand, if he's cycling, he is a minimum of an emerald, 1 coach on each side, but that you had to have known. Okay, so what this does is it makes it so even if you have to put on a strong leg coach, you can place them on the weak leg of your spouse. The reason why I said is that we're leaving this up to people that we know are building their business is, let's say that you're just the average coach that signs a coach here and there, and you've placed John on the inside leg of your spouse. Now, if you're like most spouses or like I was, you weren't totally even aware that you had an account. Obviously, your wife told you that they were signing you up, but we weren't doing anything with it. She was just using me as a number. Okay, but now you've placed John under me. That coach, you've decided not really to work your business, and obviously I'm not working my business, so John would be considered to be in a black hole. The only reason, because nobody's putting any coaches underneath him. So he's going to be responsible for building his weak and his strong 100% by himself because he's got no help from above. But if you are a coach that is in this for the long term, which if you're watching this video you are, you're going to be constantly placing coaches under John to help him cycle. So let's go into a graphical genealogy and see if we can make this work. Okay. Now I know some coaches don't go into a graphical genealogy. So let's just say for purposes of this example that this is you and this is your spouse. Okay. It's modern society. Jennifer and Amber are hitched. Or let's just say they're sisters. That probably would have been a better thing to say. Let's just say they're sisters. They're working the business together. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go Jennifer is going to set her little, what is the guy? The little red hollow man. He's going to place this hollow man here in this empty hole. Okay, because you can see Amber, who is actually an active coach, who's not currently building her business, doesn't have anyone on her weak leg. Well, let's just say Amber is Jennifer's sister. And Jennifer, excuse me, Jennifer wanted to make Amber cycle. Obviously, Amber has to be a Emerald coach in order to cycle, but Jennifer wants to help Amber cycle. So she is going to place her little red hollow man right here in this position. What that's going to do is when Jennifer signs a coach, that coach is immediately going to go here, giving Amber, when she logs in and says one new coach in your organization, as you know when you see this from your upline coaches, they're always placed on your strong leg. In this incident, Amber will log on and see one new coach in her organization and see Jennifer's new coach placed on her weak leg. So that's where it's done. Now, obviously, the more that she does that, she places them here, and then here, and then here, and then here, so on and so forth. That way, that person, Amber, would now has 4 coaches on the weak leg of her business. So if she was Emerald, she would essentially have 5 coaches on the weak leg. So it gets her cycling more. All right, hopefully you guys understood this. Post below that you did or didn't if you found this useful. I have this conversation with a lot of coaches, and it takes a little while to understand. I wish we would have known this from the beginning, because it would have changed the entire way that we built our infrastructure, because we would have been building my legs up. Jennifer would have much more equal legs right now, because she would have been placing coaches on her strong leg under the weak leg of me. She's doing that now, but we kind of just learned this when we opened our second business center. Our upline taught us that. So right now, every single coach that Jennifer sponsors in her first business center goes way down under the weak leg of her second business center. And now it's actually a very strong business because she keeps doing this, and now she's got some excellent coaches in there, and they don't even realize they're on the weak leg of a second business center. They don't realize this because Jennifer is an active coach, actively adding people into the business. So if you are going to do this technique, make sure that you're in this for the long haul, because you want to give your coaches the best chance of success. All right, so I am going to go ahead and end this recording. If you guys have any questions, please comment below.